Today we're diving into some massive multi-billion-dollar renovations and rebuilds set to change the landscape of the NFL in the late 2020s. We've got one stadium already in the early stages of construction and another about to break ground. So let's jump right in. First up, let's talk about the potential renovation of EverBank Stadium in Jacksonville. This project is basically a new stadium when you consider what they plan to do. Originally, they aimed to kick off renovations in 2025, but now it looks like 2026 or even 2027 might be more realistic. This means the Jaguars could temporarily move to Orlando's Camping World Stadium for 2 years. The proposed renovation is colossal, featuring a sleek chrome futuristic exterior and a translucent roof. The cost? A whopping $1.4 billion, and they're hoping for a 50-50 split between private and public funding. The public, however, seems hesitant. If funding doesn't come through, the Jaguars might even consider relocation, though we're not at that point yet. Moving on to a confirmed new stadium set to open in 2027, new Highmark Stadium for the Buffalo Bills. One of the biggest points of contention about this stadium is that it won't have a roof, despite initial plans including one. The decision was made to embrace the elements, fitting for Buffalo, New York, where snow and lake effect squalls are a regular occurrence. Instead of a full roof, they're opting for a European design with overhangs to shield fans from the worst of the weather while trapping heat inside the stadium. The new stadium's cost has gone slightly over budget, now estimated at $1.75 billion, up from the original $1.4 billion. Construction is already underway with the foundation being dug out. Although it's still in the early stages, they've got several years to complete it. The design is impressive, both inside and out, and it's going to be a fantastic addition to the NFL when it opens in 2027. Next up, opening in 2028, is new Nissan Stadium, the future home of the Tennessee Titans. This stunning new venue is expected to host a Super Bowl by 2030 or 2031, featuring a translucent roof and a unique exterior that resembles a futuristic mansion when it lights up. The design is truly eye-catching. The interior and seating configuration are reminiscent of Allegiant Stadium, with the larger upper deck surrounding the field. Though construction hasn't started yet, this ambitious project will cost around $2.2 billion. The fully enclosed translucent roof is perfect for hosting major events like Final Fours and multiple Super Bowls. This is another exciting confirmed stadium project happening in the NFL. Now let's dive into some speculation about potential stadium projects, starting with the Cleveland Browns. While it's not 100% confirmed, there are strong rumors about a new Browns stadium. The team is currently in talks with the city of Cleveland about either renovating Cleveland Browns Stadium and the surrounding lakefront or possibly building a brand new stadium. The estimated cost for this project could be around $1.5 billion. One major issue they're considering is adding an overhang to the current stadium. Built in 1999, the stadium was a rushed project, and while it's solid, the Browns need a dome if they want to host big events like the Super Bowl or Final Four. They're stuck between a renovation or a completely new stadium. One potential location for a new stadium is Brook Park, Ohio, just 10 miles south of Cleveland, next to Akron-Canton Airport. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam has acquired around 170 acres near the airport, sparking speculation about a translucent roof dome stadium there. Recently, the Browns expressed their desire for a dome to host major events, suggesting they're leaning towards a new stadium. However, they're currently negotiating with the city of Cleveland and other locations like Brook Park to get the best deal possible. If they opt for a renovation, the Browns might need to play elsewhere for at least one season. Looking at the rough timeline, if they decide on a new stadium, Construction could potentially begin in 2026, aiming for an opening around 2029 or 2030. This is all speculative, but the Browns stadium situation is definitely one to watch closely. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears and their upcoming stadium situation, which is quite similar to what the Browns are facing. Back in the early 2000s, Soldier Field underwent a massive renovation that cost over $1 billion. However, the Bears have been eyeing a new stadium for some time now, potentially moving out to the suburbs, similar to what the Browns are considering with Brook Park. They've been in talks with Arlington Heights and other suburban areas around Chicago. The latest buzz is about a possible lakefront stadium, not necessarily within Chicago itself, but in one of the surrounding suburbs along the lakefront. Another option could be Arlington Heights, where they've already purchased 200 acres of land and demolished the racetrack. What's certain is that the Bears are highly likely to end up with a translucent roof dome stadium, possibly retractable, although that's uncertain. Commissioner Roger Goodell even mentioned at the Super Bowl that the NFL wants the Bears to have a dome stadium to host major events like the Super Bowl in the early 2030s. In terms of timeline, it seems like the Bears Stadium project is more advanced than Cleveland's. We might expect to see renderings and more details this summer, with groundbreaking potentially in 2025. If all goes well, we could see the stadium opening around 2028, more likely in 2029 or 2030. These are simply speculations considering the current age and condition of the stadiums. Now on to the Arrowhead Stadium. It's an iconic venue, dating back to 1972, part of the Truman Sports Complex alongside Kauffman Stadium. Speaking of Kauffman, it's likely to be demolished by 2028 as the Royals are eyeing a new ballpark downtown. This opens up exciting possibilities for Arrowhead and Chiefs. With Kauffman Stadium gone, there'll be plenty of space to expand. Imagine a thriving football stadium district right next to Arrowhead, potentially with new developments. The big question looming over Arrowhead is whether they'll add a roof. Given its design, especially the upper deck, it's a tough call. Adding a retractable roof would require significant structural changes, possibly even a complete overhaul. It's a complex decision, especially considering Arrowhead's age and the likely exterior renovations coming its way. With the Chiefs' recent Super Bowl success, the stakes are high. The future of Arrowhead will play a crucial role in shaping Kansas City's sports landscape. Let's look into the future of Gillette Stadium, home of the New England Patriots. Now, Gillette opened its doors back in 2002, and so far, it's holding up well. The Patriots have been spruced up the interior a few times, but looking ahead, there's a chance we might see them eyeing a brand new stadium by the mid-2030s. Imagine that, a whole new home for the Pats. They've got big plans too, like this massive indoor practice facility set to go up by 2025, right next door. So while there's nothing concrete brewing just yet, keep your eyes peeled. The mid-2030s could bring some major changes for the Patriots and their beloved stadium. Now let's delve into a stadium that doesn't get much attention, FedEx Field, one of the oldest in the NFL. Now here's the scoop. Washington's new owner, who also owns the Philadelphia Sixers, is currently putting up $1 billion arena for the basketball team. If he can swing that, odds are he's eyeing for a new football stadium too. Given FedEx Field's age and location, a new stadium by the late 2020s or early 2030s seems likely. Will it stay in Landover, Maryland, or head back to Washington, D.C.? That's still up in the air, but one thing's for sure. Out of all the aging NFL stadiums, FedEx Field is probably next in line for a major upgrade. And finally, last but certainly not least, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, a stadium that's recently undergone a massive renovation. Now, much like Gillette Stadium, it's still holding up well. But looking ahead to the mid-2030s, it might be time for the New Orleans Saints to consider a new dome stadium, possibly right next to the Superdome. Given the humidity in New Orleans, an outdoor stadium probably isn't in the cards. They'll likely opt for a new dome to preserve the comfort and tradition, possibly repurposing the Superdome for something else because of its rich history. So we've covered a lot today about NFL stadiums, from renovations to brand new builds. Over the next decade or so, we're going to see a major shift with these new stadiums featuring domes, translucent roofs, and cutting-edge designs. It's going to be a game changer for the NFL. And that wraps up my stadium update for 2024. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.